The People's Republic of China has been on an economic rise. For several years, the annual growth rate has been more than 8%. It is one of the world's biggest economies. This growth has led to improved living conditions for many Chinese people, although it also increased differences between urban and rural areas. It has also led to a number of severe problems. One of the most pressing issues China has to deal with are its water-related problems. The main challenges concerning water are threefold. Next to water scarcity, which is a huge problem in the northern part of the country, water pollution and flood control needs to be dealt with. This has prompted the government to undertake an alternative approach towards water management, and it is envisioned in a strategy of integrated river basin management. In this e-lecture, we present the case study Dongting Lake in the central Yangtze River Basin.
叫人给水吃路，水给人活路。
The Yangtze River is China's longest river, 6,300 kilometers long. It is the world's third longest. The snow-fed river starts in the Kunlun Mountains of the Tibetan Plateau in Qinghai Province, flowing southeast and empties in the East Chinese Sea some 20 kilometers north of Shanghai. It has about 700 tributaries and is the largest river system in China, with a basin covering an area close to 19% of China's total land area. In this slide, the Yangtze River Basin is blue. Located in the center of China, the Yangtze River Basin covers 19 provinces, autonomous regions and municipalities. With its many tributaries, the river is the most important transportation network through the heart of some of the most densely populated and economically important areas in China, the Yangtze River Economic Belt. The Yangtze is the major inland waterway of navigation in China. Its navigation channel on both the main stream and tributaries adds up to 75,000 kilometers. This is over half of the total navigation channels in the country. Moreover, the river is a major source for irrigation, agriculture, and of hydroelectric power. The estimated annual output of power is over 100 terawatt-hour, equivalent to almost 50% of the nation's total. And it's about 3 times the total Dutch power use in 2006. The Yangtze currently holds 17 hydroelectric dams, including the well-known Three Gorges Dam. The agricultural area delivers close to half of the country's total crop population and contributes, in grain and in GDP, about a third of the nation's total. The river basin is recognized internationally as an important ecosystem rich on biodiversity. Several areas are listed under the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. 2/3 of China's plant species occur in the river basin, 370 fish species, several seriously threatened ones, and the diversity of birds are all dependent on the river basin system. The Yangtze River provides freshwater resources to around 400 million people, which is about a third of the Chinese population. The area is rich in lakes, adding up to a total lake area of over 1,500 square kilometers. Most of the lakes are situated in the middle and lower reaches. The 2 largest freshwater lakes in China are Poyang Lake and Dongting Lake. Dongting Lake is the second largest freshwater lake of China. It is located in Hunan Province, and it is divided into 3 parts: East, South, and West Dongting Lake. The total lake area lies in 13 counties and has a total area of over 15,000 square kilometers. It is a densely populated area. Dongting Lake itself is one of the 2 remaining retention lakes naturally connected to the Yangtze River, and it is important as a natural buffer by storing freshwater and reducing the extent and impact of flooding in areas occupied by people. The lake is rich in biodiversity. It harbors the threatened Chinese river dolphin, the Yangtze finless porpoise, and the lesser white-fronted goose, among many other species. It is of great socio-economic and cultural importance. The Dongting Lake watershed is listed by WWF as one of the Global 200 Conservation Priority Regions. 3 sections of the lake are listed under the Ramsar Convention for Wetlands. Over the last decades, the size of the lake has been reduced dramatically and the pressure on land use is growing. The maximum lake area is set at the 1825 area of 62,000 square kilometers. In the following years, much of the land was reclaimed, reducing the lake size with about 40%. So we see that the lake is reduced in size. It also became more fragmented. This graph shows the number of patches. Moreover, the fragments itself became smaller. However, the number of people living inside the area increased considerably. Food production and housing were the main drivers of ongoing land reclamation. And to create and sustain the so-called polar society, technical engineering management approaches were used: dams, dikes, canals, and sluices. The Yangtze River Basin and in it Dongting Lake face many water-related problems. Flooding is a very important threat, increased by ongoing land reclamation. The river basin itself is heavily polluted with industrial waste and agricultural non-pond sources. Since so many people rely on the Yangtze for drinking water, with its pollution, also the ability of about a third of the Chinese population to have access to safe and clean drinking water is negatively affected. The natural habitat of many species is subsequently affected. In general, water problems in China are the result of a structural denial of the importance of a healthy ecosystem to support a sustainable economy. For a long period, economic growth was a top priority, and there was less attention for environmental values. In addition, there was poor coordination among local and regional authorities within the river basin. The exploitation of the river and its catchment area was an undisputable right of all. Overarching problems were addressed by the Ministry of Water Resources, but mainly from an engineering point of view. The increased occurrence of floods, the devastating 1998 flood, and the alarming environmental degradation motivated the central government to change the situation profoundly. This new approach towards water management was envisioned in the concept of integrated river basin management. A first action that can be interpreted as a step towards IRBM was the launching of the $1.2 billion 32-character policy in 1998, to be implemented under supervision of the Yangtze River Basin Commission. Its measures contained aspects of dredging, key bank reinforcement, but also land conversion and wetland restoration. Although the 32-character guideline was an important step in recognizing the important function of nature in the sustainable use of a river basin, implementation of this policy was not so easy. Soon after the proclamation of the 32-character policy, its shortcomings became clear. It did not properly address sustainable alternatives for so-called wrong land use within the river basin, meaning growing rice and intensive logging. There were many complex institutional arrangements between water resource management and land use plans that hindered its successful implementation. Moreover, there was little or no awareness among the wider public of how a river, and with it an ecosystem, functions, and that there is an urgent need of coordination between land use of the upstream and downstream areas. Against this background, WWF China launched two major programs. The aims of both programs was to recover the web of life in the